Thanksgiving, as we all know, one of the few times a year the entire family is together. And that can be a blessing, but it can also be, well, that can lead to some uncomfortable discussion and colorful arguments. Relationship expert Andrea Syrtash and Mr. Manner Thomas Farley joining us to help us navigate those unexpected and unpleasant questions this holiday season. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
So we were joking off camera before we went on, though, but, you know, some people dread this because they are so worried that something uncomfortable is going to come up. And it's bound to happen, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a time when we're catching up with family on all the important updates in our lives.
And we hear stories about people skipping the holiday because they simply don't want to deal with the questions.
Right. Okay. So we're going to do this. We're going to have a little fun here with both of you. So, Andrea, we're going to start with you because you're the relationship expert. Okay. So how about dealing with the question like, oh, so when are you getting married, or when are you having a baby?
Yeah.
So
why are you still single?
Right.
All those things we love to answer at the holiday table.
Yes.
So I used to say, when people would say, first of all, it's very presumptuous to say, when are you getting married? Marriage rates have dropped. Not everybody wants to be married. But I used to say, when I was asked that question and single, getting married is not my challenge. I want to stay married. That shut people up pretty fast.
That's a good answer.
That was my answer. But I think in general, with when are you having a baby, that's also very sensitive because those, you know, those navigating infertility, pregnant-ish, we talk about this all the time.
Right.
It is the worst question to be asked when you're going through a sensitive time. So I think it's important to shut it down. And you can simply say, you can say something as easy as, that's not always in our control, but we'll update you if there's any news.
And then wrap it up.
How about those bowls? Change the topic.
Exactly. Okay, then wrap it up. Okay, so Thomas, and this goes back to good manners too, because that's kind of a rude question, but how about the how is your diet going questions, or oh, I see you look like you've gained a few pounds. Have you thought about going on a diet or something along those lines?
Yes, and very often these are things that we're hearing from siblings or from a parent, and it's been going on for years. So it really stings. Now, somebody may be coming from a place of concern, a genuine concern about your weight, but the fact is, in front of everybody is not the time to have those conversations. So as the recipient, you want to defer and deflect as much as possible. So if you can use humor, you can say, don't worry, Sylvia, I'm going to save a piece for you. There's plenty still left. Don't get dragged in. The moment you get dragged in, this is the point of no return.
Okay, and one of the tips that you guys have is to have a wingman. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so this is, if you know that there's just that one sibling who's always just bugging you, have your parent, a cousin, a spouse, be there ready to jump in for you as your protector so that you don't have to look like you're the aggrieved one, and they can jump in and change the subject immediately for you.
Okay,
I think the key is we want to have people in the room that are on our side so we don't feel as put on the spot. But in general, we don't want to be defensive when we're asked personal questions, because then we're setting a different tone.
Right, absolutely.
We just want to move on and answer very simply.
Okay, and then finally, the last question we didn't get to, but it's very, very important, is how do you handle politics quickly? What's your response to that?
Don't get dragged in. Frankly, nobody has ever won a political argument at the table, so if you think that you're going to win, you're not going to. Right. So talk about the turkey. Don't talk turkey about politics.
Okay, good advice. Thanks for coming in, you guys. Have a happy, safe, and quiet, and peaceful Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Great to have you here. Okay, let's go over to Natalie.